trying to do this. Hi,
Awesome.
my buddy Tina.
Hi,
You guys don't know, but
honey.
we're like basically BFFs. But we're gonna act like we don't, like all professional and interviewing. We're not, because this isn't about that. This is about like truth and soul and wit
Yes.
and wisdom.
You get to pretend
So
like you don't know me.
I'm gonna pretend like I don't know you and read your exceptional bio and be like, wow, you're really amazing and important. All right, hold on. So listen,
Okay.
it's all about giggles really at this point. Okay,
Yeah.
let me introduce you to Tina Paulus-Krause. Tina is a captivating speaker. I actually do know that because I forget it. We'll talk about that later.
See, you're already doing it.
I can't not do it. She is the author of The Strength of Our Anchors and host of an online show called Your Leadership Legacy. So after 22 years in corporate, Tina took the leap and founded a leadership development company dedicated to helping women become stronger, healthier, and more evolved leaders. Her passion is transformational training and speaking, helping people become the best leaders of themselves and others. Tina, the other thing that's not on here that I'm wondering why is your podcast. Why is
Oh, yes. That's your leadership legacy. I just said online show versus
Okay,
podcast.
great. Awesome. Okay, good. So this is Tina. She is honestly one of my favorite human beings on the planet. We recently, back in February, right before the COVID shit hit the fan, we actually co-created and collaborated on the Alive and Unleashed retreat here in Phoenix. So I know her. I love her. She's a dear friend and she's a badass leader. Tina Paulus-Krause.
Thank you. Well, thank you, everyone. It's so good to be here.
It is. Okay, so I want to hop right in. And basically, we're talking on this show, this interview series, about rising in our leadership through difficult times.
Yep.
How perfect. And I love this because your podcast, which launched
today. Well, the podcast has always been, I have a new interview series launching today.
Got it. So that launched today. So why not? She'll talk about that in a minute. But what I've been having my amazing guests talk about is your story. So your whenever we rise, it means we've come from somewhere
down below
and break down to breakthrough. So, and that is life. I mean, that's just how it goes. So there is no up without down. There is no light without dark. So what, and I know the story, but tell the folks who are watching what was your transformation from where you were, what you realized about your life, and how you came through and how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, thank you. So it's so good to be here, Kristen. Thank you. I love you so much as well. My story is, and you and I have talked about this, my story is almost kind of the opposite of yours, right? So I spent my career in corporate America, climbing the ladder, going position to position, just really digging into a leadership career, a sales career, and everything on paper was awesome, right? Like, so 5 years ago, it's 5 years ago or so. Everything on paper looked really amazing. I had this great job, 6 figures. I had an amazing title. My husband's awesome. Our kids were like just finishing high school, off to college. Like, I was in this place in my life where everything, like, I had done it, right? Like, you work as your kids are growing up to raise them. And I was in this place where it was like, what's next? What now? And I knew that something inside wasn't right. I didn't know really what it was at the time, but I knew that I wasn't happy. I knew that there was something different for me. I knew there was something more. And along that same time frame, my daughter, who was 24 years old at the time, called me one Sunday morning and said, "Mom, something really bad happened last night." And, it's every parent's worst nightmare, right? To get that phone call. And really long story short, she was severely addicted to drugs and alcohol. And
you had no idea.
It's not that I didn't have an idea. She's in her 20s, she was partying, she was doing her thing. 3 months prior to that, we had been at a birthday party. We go take the kids to dinner for their birthdays, and it was her birthday, and she was late coming in and not sober, and I knew something was going on, right? And so I had, several months before that, I kind of knew something was going on. But adult kids, I mean, they're figuring it out and trying to work their way through life and stuff like that. So I get this phone call, and my whole life just completely stopped, right? Because she was in trouble. She was at her bottom.
Mm.
And so I called into work and I said, hey, I'm not going to be in this week. My daughter's here and we get to figure this out. And so we spent a week in the house, locked up. It was kind of like what's happening now with the quarantine, right?
Deja
Yeah.
vu.
Yeah. But just everything stopped. All my electronics, all technology, my laptop work, everything stopped. And her and I just sat and we dug deep. We went really, really deep, deeper than we had ever gone. We laughed, we cried, we grieved, we just all this stuff that really, really, it was really a bonding experience. And through that process, at the end of that week on Friday, I would drive her to the airport and send her with a one-way ticket to Arizona for rehab. Watched her go up the escalator. I'll never forget that, right? Because you don't know, as a parent, it was like I'm giving her over, right? Like, okay, God, it was my surrender. Here you go, God. Help her, right? And support her. And so I say that I sent her to drug and alcohol rehab and I sent myself to emotional rehab. So it was this period in my life where I started reading books. I started going to retreats and workshops and just anything that I could get my hands on to try and figure out what's this hole that I've got going on inside me. And I couldn't really explain it at the time, but really what it was is that I wasn't living my purpose, right? And so I show up at the very first retreat that I went to. You and I just did a retreat, within the last month, and it was this 3-day retreat. And it's how I've modeled my retreats, and now how we're modeling this retreat, because it was this moment in my life when I was like, you've been trying to do this your whole life on your own, right? Like I was trying to do it on my own. Like I got this. No, I don't need help. I got this. I'm strong. I'm independent. I can do this. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I didn't have it. Right. Yeah. But if I ask for help, if I say that I don't have it, then that means I'm weak. It means I'm not strong. It means I'm not taking care, all these stories that I had going on in my head. And so I walked into a retreat, 300 women, and was filled with love. And it was just this place where everybody was just really lifting everyone up. And I was just like, I want more of this. Like, I want more of this because this feels good. This feels like home to me. Right. And so I just kept going. I just kept doing it and going to more retreats and meeting more people and doing the leadership development work and all of that. And through that process, I would watch the speakers and the trainers up on stage, and I would be like, yeah, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I didn't really know what it meant or what that was, but I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I just really put this plan in place in my career, right? Like I walked away from my title. I walked away from the income, and 1 year and 3 months ago, left everything that I knew to start a leadership development company, because my purpose, my passion, I learned throughout that whole process was that I get to help other people develop just like people helped me along the way. I don't have to do it on my own. And it's just been this really amazing journey. And it's like where I met you. It's how I met you along the way.
I know.
And so today I go into I do a couple of different things, right? Like I work with high performing women, coaching them kind of, the same kind of stuff as you do. And then the other side of the business that I do is I go into businesses, because there's this whole leadership conversation that when we're coaching people, that we have when we're going to these retreats and these workshops and these trainings that we do to really self-develop, there's a piece of that that's not in corporate, right? We do this broad brush leadership development and we check off the list. As an employee, we check off the list, and as a leader or a manager, we check off the list, because we did our development and then we go on to the next thing. And we're not going deep enough. And especially in today's world with what's going on right now, right? I've talked forever about the future of work, right? The future of work is coming. It's coming. Guess what? It's here, and it's here now. Like the future of work is now. Yeah. And so it's just this time frame where we all individually get to really rise within our own leadership, so that we can move out of this beautiful pause that we're having right now, so that we can come out of this and really walk into this new world in a healthy way, because we haven't been healthy up until now as a planet, right? And so that's me.
I love it. Oh, and I've heard the story, and every time I'm like, ooh, either I didn't hear it the first time because I wasn't paying attention, or this I'm hearing for the first time again, as if like, oh wow, yeah, that's profound. Yeah. It's usually what I'm discovering in doing these interviews is it's usually a like bring you to your knees kind of a moment.
Yeah.
it was my daughter's in crisis. Like
Mm-hmm.
you went like this for a week.
Yes.
You shut everything else out. And what I'm hearing you say is I focused all my attention where it needed to go for her.
Yeah.
And then it was like focusing it back here.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I, Kimberly Baker,
Mm-hmm.
I interviewed her yesterday. Yeah. I interviewed her yesterday. Same exact thing. I had all the things. I had the title. I had the 6-figure career. I had the house. I had the 2 cars. I had the status. I was moving up the ladder. And yet there was this gnawing. There was this thing that was something that was unmet internally. Like there's more for me. And I think, and what you said, I just love, because women, especially in our culture, I want to say up until now, yes, because we get to change it. Yeah, we do get to change it. And that really is why you and I do what we do. And especially why we've collaborated together. But up until now, women have been the I got it. Like, and it's especially prevalent in corporate. Like you're not allowed, you show a weakness and someone else is right there. I can do it. I can work more hours. I can work weekends. I can do this. I can do that. So there's this level of scarcity, and there's also a level of competition. And I think what's really profound and beautiful about what you said, you went to a retreat for women and they were locking arms. And it was powerful and it was profound. And you could see that's how shift really happens. Yeah. You just gave me goosebumps, because it was like, at the time, I never would have been able to verbalize it, right? I can verbalize it now because I've gone through it. But in that moment, it was like, oh, this is what happens when I just listen, right? When I block out all of the noise and all the stuff that I'm told I'm supposed to do and all the stuff I think I'm supposed to do and everything that I've done for the last 50 years of my life, right? Like when I block all of that out and I just come within, and that's what that retreat allowed me to do, right? It allowed me to just block out everything else and come home to me and find who I'm supposed to be. And it was like this big wake up call, because I love the company that I worked for, American Family Insurance. It's an amazing company. They just are refunding right now. They're refunding auto premium to their customers, right? It's an amazing company. And I had an amazing team. Like it was all good. And there was still something missing. And because my life was so noisy, I wasn't able to hear those whispers that were knocking at me, right? And so it gave me this beautiful time to really just dig into, what do I really want? Yeah. Who am I and what do I really want? And we don't do that near often enough, men or women. Yeah. Well, and that's the opportunity that we have right now collectively. The entire planet gets to pause. The entire planet could look at that. I know there are people out there that are blah, blah, blah. I already know it. I can feel it. Blah, blah, blah. You're talking a whole bunch of smoke and, it's woo woo. It's flowery. It's love is the answer. I get it. Love is the answer. I get Tina. It is the answer. I know it is. And love is the answer threatens the paradigm that we're all have been in. We're operating in a paradigm, people. The paradigm is, here's the paradigm. If I may just dumb it down. Go to school, graduate, go to college, graduate, get a job, start making money, buy a house, get a man or woman, get married, have kids, do the things, and accumulate, and just keep climbing that. And I'm seeing this broad spectrum. I'm saying this in general. If you look at our paradigms and our structures, that's what we do. And if you look at, we think that's what we're supposed to do. Well, but that is what the majority of people do. If you look at the structures of even just school, elementary, K through 12 school, what we're teaching and what we're learning to get into college, and in college. And I'm not saying that college education is bad. I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form. I'm an entrepreneur, and my story is complete opposite of Tina's. We talked about this multiple times. I graduated college. I was like, hell effing no, I'm not going down that road. I don't know why. But I'm not going down that road. And thank God, because I was listening to some part of me that said, I don't fit there.
Yeah.
I don't fit there. And we don't, like, none of, if you really take this like even deeper philosophically, none of us fit anywhere.
No.
The only place we really fit is in the whole of humanity. Like, I fit with you. I don't have to have the same color of skin. I don't have to have the same race. I don't have to have the same background. I don't have to have any of the marital status, income. I don't have to have any of that.
Right.
Because what this pandemic that we're in is showing me, what I'm seeing from it, is it's leveling the playing field. I am human. So are you. Yeah. And when we say stuff like love is the answer, it threatens the constructs of our normal American life. And thank fucking God for that. Like,
I love that you're sorry.
No joke. Thank God for that, because this is an opportunity. You can look at this, like, here's the thing. People can look at this like, I just want this to be over so we can go back to the way it used to be.
Never going to happen.
Yeah, and it might happen. It might, for people, it might happen with their ways of thinking, with their ways of being, with their thinking. I go back to my job and I have security. Do you? Really, ask yourself right now, do you?
Yeah.
And I think that really is, that's the kind of the question right now, is like, if you had nothing, and listen, you had that moment, that on my knees moment, you had the moment in this retreat where you're looking out and going, I want more. You're looking at your life and you're going, I have all the things. And why am I not unfulfilled? Because we're not meant to, like, our fulfillment doesn't come from the things. Our fulfillment comes from our being, like how we're giving, how we're contributing. Because I know you, that you look at a leader and you look at people who do profound work that actually shifts people, that actually transforms people. And you know, there's a knowing in you that says, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was this freeing moment, right? Like, it was Lori Harder. I will never forget her, right?
And
like,
so funny because we both know Lori
I know.
Harder.
I'm sitting it's Northport Beach, California, and I'm sitting in this room where I know nobody, 300 women. And I'm like in the back of the room, and I'm like this. Like, I'm looking in back at me, like, is she like, I swear she's looking into my eyes and talking to me. Like, I felt she was looking into my eyes and talking to my soul. And it's just this freeing moment when you go, wait, I don't have to do that just because that's what I've always done. You mean I get to create whatever I can create? You mean I don't have to live in fear anymore? And it's just this freeing way to live that, like, I had no idea existed. You know what I mean? So like so my whole point is that when we as a society, when we as an individual, when we as a business, when we as a team, whatever, it can happen in any way, but when we just take time to pause and just come in and think and strategize and plan and just, who do I really want to be in this moment instead of who am I supposed to be? It's a game changer.
It really is.
It's really a game changer. And that's the opportunity that we have in this time right now with the pandemic going on.
Yeah. And that's what inspires you, because you know, just like I know, what it feels like to be on the other side of choice. Yeah. You know what it feels like to be like, oh, I don't have to do this. Yeah. I can choose. Oh, wait, I'm a creator. Like, there's so much power and freedom in that. And once you experience it, for me anyway, I'm not going to speak for you, but I think I can. You want everyone to experience it.
I want everyone, the whole world, the whole planet.
Imagine.
Like, just imagine, what if, Kristen? What if?
Trust me. What would be possible?
Yeah.
What would be possible if we created from that place?
Right. What would be possible if you and I didn't judge each other? What would be possible if you and I didn't compete? Compete with each other. What would be possible if we just loved each other wholly for exactly who we are, even in our imperfection? Like, we throw people out because of their imperfection in this society. Yeah. And it's perceived.
Yes, perceived. And it is, you know, I love this conversation. I could talk about it all day long. Okay. So, cause we have before, you guys, this is not the first time we've talked about this. So how, cause that was basically, okay. So that was basically the first, you know, and everyone I've talked to, there was a on my knees moment. I'm literally in my mind's eye. Yep. On their knees moment, on your knees moment. Mm. And in that moment, it's really an opportunity to say exactly what you asked yourself. Who am I? Why am I here? What's my life for? Like really the work that I empower people, the questions I empower people to ask about themselves is, what is your life for? I am clear beyond a shadow of a doubt. Yeah. My life is for other people. Mm-hmm. My life, I am here to serve. I am here to elevate consciousness. I'm here to open people's eyes. I'm here to help people tell the truth about themselves to themselves, first and foremost. That means like, are you happy? And I don't want this, maybe I did create the pandemic because I was like, we all need to start asking ourselves the real questions, right? Yeah. The real questions. Yep. So one of the questions that came to me as I was thinking about talking to you today is the name of this, I don't even have a name for it, show, series, interview, these interviews I'm doing, Soul, Wit, and Wisdom. Because that really is who I am. I'm deep. Yes, I've been asking myself this question, who am I? Why am I here forever? I am witty. And this is my wisdom. Like my wisdom is just like your wisdom, and your wisdom comes from a higher place. And once you connect to that higher place, so my question for you is, once you connect to that higher place, you are actually in your truth. That really is the truth of who you are, not what you have, not who you are, not your title, not your money, not your status, none of it. Mm-hmm. So how do you access or stay connected to your truth, your soul, your purpose, you know what I mean? Like how do you stay connected to it?
Such a good question. I love that you didn't seed me the questions either. This is good.
It's the best.
It is. So it's a daily thing, right? Like, so anybody who thinks that going through transformation and changing mindset and finding your wholeness and coming home and all that is an easy thing. It's not. It's the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life. And it's also the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my life. And so every day, all day long, I don't care who you are. I mean, even Judith and Lisa and Lynn and Michael, right? Like even the best trainers in the world have their moments. We are human. We are all going to have our moments, and we're all going to have those times when it's like, I just don't want to. And I just don't want it. Right. And I that used to be a big excuse of mine, right? Like that held me back in many ways. I just don't want to, I'm tired. I don't feel like it, all of that. And when I'm in that mindset, I miss opportunity and I miss being who I really want to be when I'm here, right? So it becomes a choice. And so in those moments, it's about shifting faster for me. So it's all about shift and choice. You know this, right?
Yes,
so for me,
I do.
Yeah. For me, it's all about making sure that I remember that every single honkin' day, right? So in those moments when my story is, I don't wanna, my other story, I call it the itty bitty shitty committee, right? You've got this itty bitty shitty committee that sits on our shoulder and says, no, you can't, you're not good enough, you're ugly, you can't do this, you're, and then it sits there. And then you've got this other side, and I've really, really flexed this muscle because this muscle over here ruled my life for the first 45 years of my life. Yeah. Like it ruled my life, and my past and my experience reflects that, right? And so this muscle over here, the one that says, no, you are worthy. No, you can do this. You are smart. You are beautiful. The cheerleader over here is I had to build that muscle. And it was an everyday constant thing that I really, it's discipline and it's hard work. And today she shifts much, much faster over here. So for example, I could have a bathroom floor moment, and in the past, that moment might last for a couple months.
Right.
I mean, it's not funny, but
no,
it's
legitimately
true.
Though. Yeah.
But it's legit. And during that time, when I'm having that bathroom floor moment, I am unproductive. I'm a bear to be around. It's just not good energy to be in. And so I can choose to be there for 2 months, or I can choose to shift my mindset. And the quicker I shift my mind, it's over time, I've been able to quicker and quicker shift that. So today it's like, I don't want to, yep, you're going to go. And it literally is like a 2-second kind of thing. And it's about that choice and that shift. And it doesn't mean that it's easy or that it's fun or that it's not work or anything like that. It's like, no, I'm choosing to do the hard stuff. I'm choosing to stay in this good mindset. I'm choosing to be a leader. I'm choosing to stay in my contract. I get to choose every moment of every day how I want to show up. And I don't want to be that person. Yeah. Like that person's always going to be there because she's part of me. She's who I am. and I get to be better every single day. So that was really overwhelming for me at first, right? It was really overwhelming. It felt heavy. It felt like like that's a lot. It's really comfortable to be this person over here that likes to sit on the couch and eat Cheetos and watch TV.
She's over there. It's on this side.
Yeah.
The other side.
Oh, I'm sorry. She's over here.
Yeah, because I'm like trying to keep track. Itty bitty shitty committee over on your other shoulder. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, my only point in all of that, Kristen, is that it's a daily choice. It's a every single moment, all the time, choosing to shift and choosing to stay in the good energy and choosing, because I know what I want to create. I know what my vision is. I know where I want to go now. I'm very, very clear of that. And every decision that I make that doesn't send me in that direction, I get to really look at that on a daily basis and stay disciplined to who I say I want to be and where I want to go.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's not easy work. And it's a lot easier than living the other way, if that
really
makes sense.
is.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah. One of the things that, I probably know the answer to this question too. I'm just saying I probably do. But what about the people that you surround yourself with?
Yeah. So it's so important to surround yourself with people. Whoops, just a second. Sorry, I did something bad. So here's the thing. Surrounding yourself with people who are going to lift you up is really important, right? Like I try every single day to, who can I lift up today? Like that's a goal of mine. Especially if I'm feeling in a funk, if I'm not, if I'm feeling it and I'm not able to shift as fast as I want to, I immediately am like, who can I call? Who can I support? Because if we're supporting out, it fills myself up as well. Right. And so it's just really staying in the work and staying dedicated to who I say that I want to be. I might've forgotten the question. What was the question again?
I had a spot.
No,
I asked you that question like 7 minutes ago. I'm kidding. It's about who you surround yourself with. Cause I know I could sit in my office all day long. And here's what I'm going to say. Full transparency. Tina and I logged in 10 minutes or so early. We started shooting the shit. She's like, how are you doing? I'm like, kind of not good right now. And that's new for me. Cause I'm we both know how to shift. We both know how to take an experience or information that's coming at us and not add a whole bunch of meaning and get super emotional or super attached or be right about it. Feedback, one of the most powerful things I've ever learned in my life is that feedback is neutral, meaning whatever's occurring, and Lisa talked about this on Sunday, whatever's occurring is just occurring. We're the ones that attach meaning to it. So she says, how you doing? And I'm like, kind of not so great right now. And she's like, really? Me too. So, and it's not to say that the minute, cause I'm sitting here like this before I get on the phone with you, and I'm like, and then I see your face and I want to be like, what's going on over here? If I focus out, first of all, I shift. The moment that I focus on giving to someone else, supporting someone else, being there for someone else, serving someone else, my whole attitude and my whole mindset shifts.
Yeah.
And then I'm out of it. I'm shifted. I'm not consumed with, oh, my woe is me and all that. So that is exactly what it is. And I know, like, I surround myself for the last 2.5 years, I've surrounded myself with people who see me in my highest. They see me higher than I see myself a lot of times. And so I can call someone like Tina and say, I'm in the shitter right now. And she can, like that, shift me out. So it's imperative as you're going through your journey of really shifting your mindset. It's imperative that we have.
I'm listening.
Communicate. Hey, who is that?
Siri.
Siri, Siri's trying to get in on this.
Siri is totally trying to get in on our conversation.
You are listening, aren't you,
There's
Siri?
nothing private. Yeah. Surrounding yourself with, the people that it goes a couple of different things for me. So yes, it's important to surround yourself with positive people, but I love what you said about holding people at their highest, right? Because I know that if I'm hanging out with you and I'm like, dragon and like, you're going to call me forward on that. You're not going to let me sit in that because you know that that's not who I want to be.
It's not who you are.
It's not who I am. Yeah. And so like, it's really, I think we have to be really, really careful. We're hanging out with groups of people, and then all of a sudden everybody's getting negative and go, like, are you using your voice? Why are you even hanging out in that, with those people? Because I know today that when you and I get on the phone, it's going to be positive and uplifting. And if either one of us does need support, we're there for each other. And so it's more about not letting people sit in their shit.
Yeah.
For me, right? Yeah. Like, because I don't do that anymore. If I'm with somebody, no, I don't care who you are and you're sitting in your shit, I get to lovingly call you forward and say, what's up?
I love this because you're reminding me of something I used to say all the time, and I don't know why I stopped saying it. I call it sitting in your poopy diaper. So here's why this is such a great analogy, because mom, when your child is learning how to potty train, they're so comfortable shitting in their own diaper that it's actually scary for them to like shit on the toilet. Mm-hmm. It's the comfort zone. I would rather sit in my own shit in a diaper than learn something new that feels scary. It is such a great analogy, but like sitting in your shit is like, yep. I'm bringing that one back. I don't know if people like it or not. I don't care.
Let's bring it back. Yeah.
But I used to say it all the time. Don't sit in your shitty diaper. Don't sit in your poopy diaper.
Yeah. It's a choice. It's totally a choice.
It is a choice. It is. And it is what it actually points to is, but I'm comfortable right here.
Yeah. And it smells good.
It smells, it hurts. I'm going to get diaper rash, but it's known and I'm comfortable. Yeah. And that's been this theme that has been coming up on these interviews, because all that is comfortable and known is kind of like thrown up in the air right now. And we're all in this, what the hell is going to happen next?
Yeah. And so what's the beautiful thing about that is that it's all thrown up in the air. And as it comes down, we get to create what it looks like as it comes down. And as we go into the new, like our new normal, our new future, as we move forward. So it's just this, like, again, it's a choice to sit and go, oh, woe is me. I had to sit in the house for 2 months and, or, there's so many things that we can be complaining about. And like, it's a choice. It's totally a choice. Find the opportunity no matter what situation that you're in.
Yeah. Yeah. There's always light, we've been talking about this. Tina's on the group collective on, every Sunday morning, where we really talk about like, it is your choice and it is your perspective. And you can look at life and be like, and I've been there. Trust me, I've been in victim. I've been like, so and so, like, it's like this. Oh, it's so hard.
It's like the Rice Krispie commercial. Remember the Rice Krispie commercial?
Oh, what is it?
She just makes Rice Krispie bars, and she's like, puts flour on. It's like hard work. It's not. It's
just like gosh, that. Okay, you just showed your age a little bit, and I love you for that because you look good. You look good.
Thank you.
But yes, that's, oh my gosh, I love that commercial. You're totally making me nostalgic. Yeah, Rice Krispies, like they're so hard. Oh, I slaved. I was actually really. I will tell you, I was really addicted unknowingly, but really addicted to life being hard. Like, how many people listening have a sense of like, if and it may be subconscious, you may not even know, but I invite you to look. I had this thing, and I'm not going to tell you where I learned it from. I had this thing where I was like, if I don't make a big deal about how hard I'm working, then people won't know that I'm doing like my damnedest.
Oh yeah.
No, you want to know what I'm doing my damnedest, what I'm trying my hardest to do is look like I'm working really hard.
Right.
But that is not an effective, like is it working? It's not working. It's not working. It's not effective. So it was really just a whole lot of drama.
Right. Well, and even I remember when I was working, right? Like I'd be like, oh, I work 70 hours this week. Like, oh, I stay up till midnight, stay up until 3:00 in the morning. Like it was some kind of a badge of honor.
It is definitely a badge.
It up until now.
Oh,
I really believe that that's changing, because it's not a badge of honor to take yourself into the ground.
It's not. It's not. So
snot.
It's not anymore. I had another question for you before, because I'm doing this. Okay, so I don't know. I keep talking about something because there's a question coming through for you. Keep telling me a story.
Oh my God.
This is what Tina and I do.
I know, you make me laugh.
This is what we do.
It'll come in a second. So you get to put me on the spot and say, tell a story. Are you kidding me? Do we have any questions? Does anybody have any questions?
You know what? Hold on.
I can't see the question feed.
I can't either. I'm afraid to actually, I'm afraid,
Oh.
okay, I'm going to hit it and then it's going to, oh, look at this. There's all kinds of stuff going on.
Oh, there is.
Can you see it now?
I can. Daniela. Hi, Daniela.
Oh, Justina.
Shauna's
hi.
on. Justina's on.
Look at this. I really should do this. I'm like sitting here looking at you guys. Oh, looking at you guys. Both of your wisdom. Love you. Oh, Daniela. You're there for everyone, Daniela.
Daniela's amazing.
Shauna Scott. What's up, girl? Find the opportunity. Love you, ladies. Yes. Okay.
What questions? Yeah. So did you figure your question out yet?
No, I was busy reading.
Mm-hmm.
No, my whole, who's popping hearts? Who's popping hearts in there? Who is that? I can't see. I love you guys so much. No. So, how has what's shifted for you since you've been, home? Like what is
shifted?
I know,
virus?
Yeah. Not just like what's shifted for you in your work, like how, like what you're creating and what you're
my goodness on. Everything.
Let's just first, before you answer that question, Tina and I were coaches in a leadership development company that ended right when the smackdown happened, like March 12th. It was like this is canceled and this is canceled. And Tina and I and our friend Beth had done the Alive and Unleashed retreat in February, and we were like, the minute that we are done with leadership training, next one, like May 20, we already had the dates. We're like, we are going to start promoting. It's going to be this, we're creating it. And then we were like, okay. So that's not happening. So now what? And my question for you is, how have you shifted? Like what, like even not just internally, not like the doingness, but like what shifted for you?
I think what's been so cool about it is that if this would have happened even a year ago, right? A year or 2 years ago, whatever, you want to talk about bathroom floor moments, right? Because like I literally flew home from California on March 12th. And Al and I made the decision at that point that we were going to start self-quarantining at that point, because I had just come from like the epicenter of all of it, right? In California. And so we've been we've been in the house, we've gone out a couple times for groceries. And what's shifted for me is just this realization that, I'm okay. Like I literally, starting March 13th, when I got home, I literally in my email started watching training, booking after speaking event, after live event start dropping off, right? They just started dropping off and canceling. And
for those who don't know, Tina's business is mostly live events, in-person workshops and trainings. And that was why we were collaborating. I want to be in front of, I want to keep going.
Yeah.
That's
so like
something.
I literally watched them fall off one by one by one. And I was like, choice. I have a choice right now.
Yeah.
Because I can be
Freak
freaking
the fuck out
because now, like 16 months into my brand new business, I like have 0 on my calendar.
Yeah.
But you know what happened? I was like, my calendar is completely clear. Like I get to completely reinvent. Like I get to completely figure out, like, awesome, my calendar is completely blank and I get to completely figure this out.
Yep.
And so it was almost like the realization that the shift was there, right?
Yeah.
Like I said to myself, like, I'm not freaking out right now. This is really awesome. Because I probably could freak out right now.
Did you freak out a little bit that you weren't freaking out? Because I kind of freaked out.
I know, right?
Yeah. I was like, is this normal? Am I supposed to be freaking out? But I really don't want to be freaking out. I'm actually loving this.
Yeah.
And I don't mean I'm loving coronavirus. I'm not loving that people are sick. I'm not loving that people are dying and that this is a real threat. I'm not loving that.
Right. And there's so much opportunity. Yeah. There's so much opportunity. So like I really literally just sat over that course of that next week and just said, okay, like what now? And I'm looking here because my strategy is like on my whiteboard right here. And I'm like, I sat and looked at it like, okay, what does this mean? And what can I do right now, right? I have a blank calendar. What can I do? Because here's the other thing that I'm seeing some people do, and it's no judgment. I just know where I was versus where, like what my choices are today. But like, I could have went and stocked up on a bunch of alcohol. I could have, I could be, binge watching Netflix and every movie and series that because I haven't watched TV in the last couple of years since I've been doing this work, because I'm so on fire about my mission and vision.
Yeah.
I pour all of that into where I'm going and what I'm doing. Right. And so it was just these realizations that like, I have a clean calendar. What can I do? And so I started calling up groups of people that I knew, like, hey, let's do a coffee collective once a week. Let's keep people together. Let's keep people engaged.
Yeah.
Hey, what ideas do you have? Hey, how can we collaborate? Hey, what can we do? And I just started focusing out, right? Like, where can I serve? What can I do? I started doing more lives. I started calling more people on the phone. I just started really working and thinking a little bit differently. And I have events now that used to be live events that I'm going to do a vision board virtually at the end of this month for United Way here in Madison, right?
Very
like,
cool.
So it's about possibility, right? It's about this choice point where I can choose to numb out. I can choose to numb out, or I can choose to figure out what possibilities are existing right now and go after those possibilities. And I don't know if it's right. I don't know if it's wrong. I'm not judging it. It's day by day, and wherever I can support, I am supporting, and whatever happens on the other end of it happens, right? Yeah. Like it's about letting go of control for me, right? I can't control this.
No.
None of us can control this.
Yeah.
And so because we can't control it, what can we do? What are the possibilities? Where can we serve? You know, so if you're somebody out there that's listening and you're somebody who's chosen to numb out, and there's lots of ways to numb out, eating, I've heard quarantine 15, like eating, drugs, alcohol, gambling, shopping, there's tons of different ways to numb out. And I used to do pretty much every single one of them. I'm not going to lie. And it's a choice.
Yeah.
It's a total choice.
Yeah. And I think when you can look at this as an opportunity, I really, really, truly believe, and I've been saying this for weeks, if you can look at this as an opportunity for you to just assess your life, like really, if you lost everything, how would you rebuild it? Yeah. Like if you lost everything, what would you re-enroll yourself into? Would it be your 90-hour-a-week corporate job that's like super stressful? Like there are such gifts and such opportunities in the bathroom floor brought to your knees kind of moment. And that's what this is. Like, this is a collective bring you to your knees opportunity.
Yeah.
And
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, you know, how I look at this is whatever you're doing right now, Tina, you're planting seeds.
Yeah.
You're planting seeds because this is fertile opportunity for you to get really super clear on who you are, who you serve, what you want, what impact you want to make, and who you want to serve and how you want to serve on the planet.
Yeah. And you know what else? As you were saying that, it's not only about the business side of it. I just put a post out there yesterday about Al and I. So our kids are all grown up. We have 5 adult kids. They're all kind of in their own area, right? So it's Al and I here in this house together, working 24/7 together.
Do you want to say anything else about that?
Yeah.
Is that a different show? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. That's a whole different interview. But yeah, I mean, there's been a couple of times where it's been like,
get out of my hair. I get it.
Yeah. And so what's been really, really cool about it is that we've also been able to work on our relationship intentionally, right? Like we've taken some time, a couple of hours here and there, very intentionally to sit down and just go through questions. Like just ask each other questions that we would normally not ask ourselves, go deeper and have conversations that are deeper about our relationship and what we want and who we want to be as a couple and where we want to go and where we want to take the family and all this, right? And then
what a great opportunity.
Yeah. And even that's in the house, and my mom and dad who, you know, I would maybe talk to them once or twice a week on the phone. We're having Zoom conversations now, and I'm looking at them eyeball to eyeball. And so there's just, again, this is a chance to take a look at what wasn't working in your life before the pandemic hit and really, really concentrate on what that looked like. Because whatever your life was happening before the pandemic, it's just now amplified, right? So the challenges that you had are probably amplified. The things that were good are probably amplified. And we get to really just take a look at all of it.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. This is my question that I've been asking everyone. Are you ready?
Okay. I like how you roll up your sleeves.
What is the meaning of life?
Geez. Holy crap. I should have watched your other videos.
No, in 3 words or less. Just kidding. I'm kidding. In 3 words.
I got it. It's to find your purpose. That's the meaning of life. is to find your purpose and then create your purpose. Like, right? Like, do it.
Yep.
I mean, it can't be any simpler than that. And
I love it.
I know for me, kind of like what you were saying, right? Like, as you grow up, it's just like ingrained and programmed into us that you grow up, you go to school, you get married, you have kids, you have a house, and this is just what it's supposed to be. And that's not the world we live in anymore. It's just not. And so we get a chance right now to kind of really think about that individually and find you. And so the other thing I want to say about purpose, because I've had people say this to me, but what if I don't know what my purpose is? And what I will say to that is, I didn't know what my purpose was either. I had no idea what my purpose was. And when I started working on myself and started raising my own leadership and started rising up within myself is how and when I found my purpose. So if you don't know, if you're listening to this and you don't know what your purpose is, it's okay. It's okay. It's the whole process of digging deep into who you are, getting really, really honest with yourself and finding out, like just really going, I think Brene Brown calls it going to battle, right? Like you're going to battle with yourself to just really figure it out.
Yeah.
And you find your purpose along the way.
Yeah. You have plenty of time now. Like, right? It's like, here's the other way that I've been like kind of positioning this. If you were to die tomorrow, look back on your life and the question I've been asking myself for decades is, am I living on purpose? Meaning, am I living in my highest? Am I using all my gifts? Am I sharing my gifts out with the world? Am I giving other people permission to use their gifts? Like that is why I'm here. Yeah. I am clear as anything that's why I'm here, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to give out. I'm here to actually turn the light on for people. And for me, the light is called the truth. The truth is, who am I? The truth is what's most important. The truth is what do I value? The truth is what impact will my life have made on the people that I come into contact with, on who I am being out in the world and what I've created. Yeah. So it's what you said. It's your freaking leadership legacy.
Well, yeah, I know. I was like, hey, I think I asked you that question. That's my last question for people. What's your leadership legacy that you
love it? But see, it's your legacy. It's your life legacy.
Right. But what I'm hearing you say, and so the name of my company is True. I started off at True You. I've rebranded it now to True You Teams. And what I hear you say when you talk through that is finding your true authentic self. 100%. When you go through this kind of work, when you go through this deep transformational leadership development work, it's to find yourself. It's to come back home to who you are. And when that happens is when you find that purpose.
And let me just say one more thing about that. When you find that, life becomes easy.
Oh gosh.
And it becomes fun and it becomes free. It's when we shove ourselves into something that really it doesn't light us up. This is not what my life is. Is this what my life is? I don't know. Like that's a question for you to ask. But once you find out what that is, who you are, why you're here, and you start living in that, you watch what happens. You watch what comes in, because you're telling the truth. You're being authentic. For me, the truth means authenticity.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like one of the things that has been a big light bulb for me over the course of the last year has been, like, I was sleeping for 45. I started my personal development journey like 5 years ago when I was 45, and I was sleeping for the first 45 years of my life. Right. And so I feel like I'm awake now. There's so much more to go and do. And the really, really cool thing about it is that when you go through that journey and when you wake up to like who you are and you wake up to yourself, like you said, it gets that much easier. Oh. And what my wake up call was I didn't want to get on the other side of this life and have regrets and go like, oh yeah, I sat on the couch my whole life and watched TV, huh? Or, oh yeah,
I ground away for 70 hours a week at a job that ultimately I got let go of, or whatever.
Right.
Or whatever.
Yeah. And it's not that different with the pandemic, because I felt myself say, I don't want to be on the other side of this pandemic. And like, I want to know that I did every single thing that I possibly could to support every single person that I possibly could to get not only myself and my family, but my community and everybody else through this in a positive way. Right. Like, so it's about no regrets. And it's about why would we only have a certain amount of time on this earth. And why wouldn't we live it full fucking out?
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't we?
We would.
We will. We do.
You and I do.
Yeah. I think
love
there's
you.
so many more people that are. Look at Shauna, Daniela, all these, Justina, all these beautiful people on the chat, right? Like there's so many people that are wakening up to that. Yeah. And this pandemic is just putting like this flashlight on it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk before we wrap up, or as we're wrapping up, what's your free gift for people?
So I have a free gift. Here's kind of, I wrote a little ebook called 5 Ways to Get Rid of Emotional Baggage. Oh. And that is the free gift. And here's why it's so important. So, as we go through that life, as I went through my first 45 years that I talk about sleeping, I was collecting emotional baggage, right? Like I'd have something in my life that would happen. I'd be like, nope, I'm good. Shoving it down. Something else would happen. Nope, it's all good. I got this. It's all good. And I'd shove it down. And what was happening is it was coming out and coming up in toxic and bad ways. And until we get rid of that emotional baggage, it's really hard to move forward in a positive way with our life. So this is just it's a book that really helps you identify what that emotional baggage might look like and a few tips of how you can get rid of it.
I love you. Thank you so much. That's awesome. All right. So how you get Tina's free gift is to go to soulwitandwisdom.com. I'll pop that in the comments right now. Oh no, I won't, because I can't do comments. I don't know what it is, but I can't do comments while I'm watching. While I'm on a Facebook Live, I can't do it. But I will pop it in after. It's soulwitandwisdom.com, and you can opt in there, and you'll see Tina's, you'll see her interview. You'll actually see her page. You'll have a link to this interview and also her free gift. Get it. Just get it. Just do it. You guys have as much fun as we do, right?
Well, here's the thing. When you do that, so my interview series started today too. So when you do sign up on that, you're automatically, I kind of like what you're doing. I'm interviewing people on the side. You're one of them. I think yours goes on like the 18th maybe, or I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyway, you'll start to get those interviews in your email as well.
Perfect.
So.
Awesome. Yeah. I love you. Thank you so much.
I love you.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And guys watching, if you have any questions, you can pop them in the chat. We'll be in there. We'll see them. And we love you for watching. Thank you. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye, everyone.